All right, my name is Judson Powell, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Uh, Most of all, as usual, hit the love button. So I want to finish up, well, not even finish, but just continue with the teaching. I know I probably could never finish it like completely, but I kind of want to tie everything in together about the feminine energy, because this is like the most important thing that's happening spiritually on a mass scale right now. There's not a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of planets and a lot of signs are in retrograde. So some of y'all probably need to chill out and don't be so like I don't know, be patient, don't be so pushy, because it's all gonna come full circle, and it's gonna change eventually, but right now that's not how everything is going on right now. But anyway, so I wanted to continue talking about the divine feminine energy that was taken away from the earth. And it was done for reasons of greed, for reasons of power, for reasons of control. All of these different things all came, into play when it comes down to why the world is in the way that is in. Now, I want to make a disclaimer before I continue to go on. I don't hate anybody, black, white, green, yellow, red, whatever color you are. I don't hate anybody. My interest is in telling the truth to people who have not heard the truth, and especially about their own existence here in the earth realm. And so in order to really get this, you got to understand things from the origins, or as far back as the origins that we can get. And so I guess like one of the major problems is the fact of the matter is that we as Africans and as I explained last time, the children of God. Remember, sons of God, how it was in the scriptures, sons of God and then sons of man. All right, well, we as the sons and daughters of God, the children of God, and then the white race considered to be what? The sons of man. And why is that? So I don't think I really explained it fully in the last one. I went back, I actually went over it, and then I started like thinking about, well, there's probably some stuff that could be said, and once again going back to the whole thing with Elijah Muhammad, Noble Drew Ali, the Nation of Islam, etc. And I do not have any ill feelings towards any group, any religion, anything, because whatever you believe, you have the right to believe. As a spiritual, as I say, a spiritual free agent. We're all spiritual free agents. So you can decide to clamp on to whatever form of either religion, spirituality, or whatever that you decide to clamp on to. That's your business. What is problematic to the whole situation is when you tell or you decide or tell other people what their fate will be because of their beliefs. And so that's why I kind of want to clarify the whole, the two creation stories that are Quran and Bible. And also, and in fact, we could even almost say that there are 3 creation stories. But so everyone that is like trying to get all this stuff together, the first part that you got to get to is, we didn't come from a man's rib. Okay, so the sons and the daughters, the children of God, came from God. The concept of God. All right, which and we can't really even pin that down, because of the fact of the divine has no gender, has no classification, has no any of that. Okay, so that's why these 2 creation stories, which now, and I keep reiterating the same stuff, is because you got to get this. And even now, National Geographic magazine has come out and be like, yeah, Elijah Muhammad was right. And everything happens for the reasons of balance. So you have to understand the sons of man and the sons of God, and let's put daughters in there as well, but those people is the reason why everything is kind of like the way it is. I mean, it's like the sons of man and black folks. I don't want y'all to trip too hard on what I'm about to say, but the sons of man, or the children of man, and the creation of the Caucasian race, it's all you. The white race, the Caucasian race, is the creation of the black man, or in the words of Elijah Muhammad, the Asiatic black man. So all of these things are so there's a creation of the sons and daughters of God, which we can tell the difference. But the whole thing is that those sons and daughters of man ended up being a creation because there has to be balance. Everything can't just be positive. Every day is not a great day. Every day does not have sunshine. Every day does not have rain. So everything based in Kemetic spirituality, and everything that was based on the ancients' spirituality, even saying before Kemet, and once again reiterate the fact that the only reason why Kemet, out of all of those things, is talked about is because they documented and wrote everything down. And so it's a lot easier to understand it. But even the stuff that they wrote down, it came from the children of God. And once we decided, which could be one of the reasons why we have suffered so much persecution and everything, is because of the fact that the sons of man was our creation. And so the way I kind of like to describe it as the Frankenstein monster. If you've ever seen the Frankenstein movie, right? So Dr. Dr. Frankenstein makes this monster, he creates the monster, and then what happens? The monster turns on him and everybody else. Which is what happened, and white folks don't get upset. There ain't no critical race theory here. I'm just teaching. All right. So don't get upset. But the reason why you don't have a history, or you wanted to create this history, or you wanted to sit at the feet of the priests, the Coptic priests that were in Kemet at the time, is because you were just like us. You wanted to know because it wasn't an overnight thing. Like Rome and all of that stuff, the Greek and the Roman civilizations, the Slavic civilizations, all of these different white Caucasian civilizations did not come about until later. And there was evolution to it, because not only did we make these different people, but then we had to teach them, in some accounts say, we had to teach them how to walk upright, how to wash and bathe properly, how to stay clean, and all of that kind of stuff. Because they were carrying disease and everything else. And as the story goes, they were banished, or whatever we did, but we did it to them. And when I say we, I'm talking about the human race. So the human race did that to them. And as the story goes, when the Caucasians first got to Kemet, their desire was to sit underneath the priests and to become a part of the priestly set, or the priestly, like the Hebrews had the whole Levitical class or whatever. Well, they wanted to sit underneath that class that was like that in Kemet, and they were denied. And the reason why that they were denied was what? Because they were white. So so nobody likes this. Nobody likes this teaching. Nobody. Black people don't like it. White people don't like it. But it is probably as close to the truth, right, as you're going to get. So they come there because they come there thinking that, wow, these are, because they're looking, you got to understand, they're looking up to the civilization and looking, they walk up there and they see the Sphinx, the pyramids, the temples, the courts, the burial, chambers, and all of these magnificent, because there was gold and everything just flowing through here. And there was all this stuff, and they're like looking, and they're like, well, I'm your kid, so Dad, teach me what you know. So that's like you going to your daddy and saying, teach me what you know, and your daddy tells you no. Because you're not the same as me. I want to tell you that you are adopted. Right? So I guess that's why these things, they never get out into the mainstream. So because you have white folks who would never, it don't matter, they'll never accept that that is the truth. That black people, the Moors, not only made y'all and they made y'all and civilized y'all. Made you and civilized you. And so there are things that we have in common, and there are things that we will never have in common. Why? Because we're not the same. And the fact that we denied them to be in the priestly class, to be priests in, because I guess that's what they, who knows what they would have done with the knowledge and with the information, but that's it. And so then when the documentation and all of that was carried up out of Africa into Northern Africa and all of these places, and you got to remember, there are libraries and books and everything in detail. They say that, and I have not been, but it's one of my things that is on my bucket list. But I want to go to Mali, Timbuktu, Alexandria, all of that, because the books and a lot of the books are still there. The writings are still there. The documentation is still there. However, it is shrouded in secrecy. There are those that believe that a lot of the books that were burned or were never burned, but they were stolen, and many people believe that they are in the catacombs in the Vatican. So you got this information, and so then all of this stuff was carried up, and so it was a tumultuous time. And according to Brother Walter Williams, according to him, all of this documentation, or all of the pertinent documentation, ended up with the Moors, and these Moors ended up at the Hagia Sophia in Turkey, which is why a lot of the books of the Bible, are written or translated, or however you want to say it, in Turkey, not in Turkish, not saying the language, saying that that's where these documents ended up. And from that point, the Caucasian race put the black race, even at that time, they put them in captivity. So they wrote the Bible and the Quran in captivity. Moors did, black folks, the Africans that wrote the Bible and wrote the Quran, and pretty much every other religious book. Because every other religious book is based on what? Those same teachings. It doesn't, there's like, I think, what was it? It's slipping my mind, but I think there are like 4,000 religions, roughly. 4,000 religions that exist, roughly. But all of this stuff, so it started there, and as it started, and then they figured, well, we can control everything if we get people to believe this book. So we can get everybody to believe this book and believe that our God is the right God and everything like that. Then we got a shot at controlling everything, and that's what they did. So, and the other thing is, we don't know how long. See, we can kind of they've been able to like estimate the length of time that, like, for example, like the Sphinx and the Great Pyramid and all of that, so they can kind of get a time frame for all of that, right? And so the time frame, and this is according to Caucasian scientists, these are not black people, but the Caucasian scientists, based upon water markings and based upon all of the different the rock formations and all of that stuff at ground zero, where the Sphinx or Heru on the horizon or whatever you call that, right? But it's been there for so long, and it used to be surrounded by water. So they can go and they can take those water lines and they can go, okay, this is, this, just like when you can do the same thing to a tree. Like if you cut a tree down, and you can start in the middle at the middle ring, and you can count all the way out, and that's a year for that tree. Well, the same thing, they were able to do the same thing with the Sphinx. So their estimate was that the Sphinx was at least 50,000 years old. The Bible and the Quran, the Bible is, by its own admission, 5,000 to 6,000 years old, and then from the changing of the calendar forward, we know that the Quran was released 600 years after the Bible. But why? Because see, they're famous for what? Creating their own adversary. So Islam was created what? To be adversarial to Christianity. So we got all of these. We got these Coptic priests from Kemet that are Moors, because Moor just means black. There's like all the black folks that came through North Africa and then went up into what is now Turkey and Portugal and all of that, right? That's where they end up, not even in the Holy Land, which everybody, not even in Israel or nothing like that, because that's fake. That's the hoodwink to get black people back. See, why is it anti-Semitic to say something bad about somebody that's Jewish, but it's not anti-Semitic to say something bad about somebody that's black? Like, why is nigger accepted, but hunky is not? Or Jew boy, or so you say something like that, right? As soon as I keep bringing up Nick Cannon for this, because as soon as Nick Cannon said something about Jewish people, he was before the big rabbi, and he was kneeling down, kissing the ring. But why is it different? Why is any of that different? And especially for all of y'all walking around, I'd like for some of these Hebrew Israelites, tell me what that's all about. If you're a Hebrew Israelite, well, then calling anybody, some derogatory Jewish term or Hebrew term or Israelite term, something that has to do with Israel or anything like that, if that's all bad, and why does the United States pay Israel billions of dollars every year, but they don't support anybody that supposedly, if the blacks are the true Jews or the true Israelites, true Hebrew people, right? So before Israel was annexed and made a country in 1948, why not? Why aren't they included in the money? Why aren't all the boys in the purple and gold Earth, Wind and Fire outfits standing on the street corner talking about polygamy? See, so you gotta understand where all of these, and there's not too many people that know these truths. Why? Because they don't teach it to you. Because they don't want you to know. Because in actuality, we're all the same. I can't think of the girl's name. It evades me, but she's blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, right? And she was on the show on where Henry Louis Gates. I apologize, Henry. I did not mean that like that. I apologize to you, my brother. But anyway, Henry Louis Gates, he does the show about your genealogy, right, and your genes. And so there's this actress, and she's blonde hair, blue eyed, the epitome of the white European beauty standard. And when they did her DNA, she had like a significant percentage of sub-Saharan African in her DNA. So now let's go back and figure out. So now when they were writing the religious books, okay, which is why I tell everybody, you cannot read what is there now and expect to get the meaning, the real meaning. Because the Moors, our people, us, we were the ones who wrote it in code so that the Caucasian couldn't just read it and understand what it meant. And it's come full circle, because right now I would say that the majority of pastors in the black church have no clue. And people go to church for their entire life, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years, and listen to these sermons, but they don't know the code, which is why I kept saying that I wish that Noble Drew Ali would have wrote books, because that whole Moorish science was passed down, but it was passed down through the griot system, meaning there was a person there that was knowledgeable towards this stuff, but they didn't teach it. It was on a need-to-know basis. And the same thing is true even after after Constantine and King James and all of them got a hold of it and then put their thing onto it. Like you can't, the whole New Testament is ridiculous. and it's so contradictory and hypocritical that you should just be able to read and know, like, well, if they say thou shalt not kill, and then in the next verse they killing people, that's what it is, right? Excuse me, my throat's getting dry, but that's what it is. So I look at it all the time. So we got the sons of God versus the sons of man, and the way that they could tell us is because we black. See, you could tell which one you are. All you got to do is go out in the sun. That's a joke. I'm just joking. But what I'm saying is that we are all the reason why I gave the whole thing about the girl who found out that she was sub-Saharan African in her DNA is because our DNA is all mixed up. We're all mixed up. That's why when they put the picture of like what a citizen of the earth would look like it was like 2045 or something like that, and the person was like a fair skinned, not a fair skinned person, but not white. So it was telltale. And the whole thing about the races, it's ridiculous for anybody to think that any race is immune from it, no matter what things you try to do. Because we all know that the population of the world is going to keep growing. Even with all the people that died during COVID and everything, which, there's still 8 billion people on the face of the earth. And notice, I say people. So there's still 8 billion people on the earth. So when our ancestors, those Coptic priests and the Moors, the reason why the Caucasians put them in captivity or fought them or started to fight at them or whatever, or keep on trying to, and look, this is the funny thing about it, because this is what I said the other day. They're still digging up Kemet, trying to find answers to the sons of God. Because the sons of God, they had knowledge. Why do you think the majority of the inventions, and everybody, if you tell somebody white this, they will deny, but it's true. Why are the majority of the inventions that have been made in the past 400 years, black people invented it? And why did black people invent it? Black people invented this stuff because sons of God. So we have the ability, the innate ability to access the spirit realm and the Akashic records and all of that kind of stuff. We have the ability to do it because of our birth right, because of the blood that runs through our bodies. So that's why they're mad. So they take everything, and whatever they do, they take what we have, they steal it from us, plagiarize it, and then put their name on it. So the questions you have to ask yourself: would it have been different if, when they got to Kemet, if we would have said, "Yeah, come on, become priests, learn the spiritual system"? But see, we didn't do that, and because so we do have to take some blame, but the things that we have endured, the crime doesn't fit the punishment. Especially considering that we created them, we taught them, we civilized them as far as how to live life. And all those were the things that were contained, those are the things that were contained in the books that quote unquote were destroyed. How do you live life? How do you do certain things? Well, all of that stuff is ancient knowledge. All of the disciplines, and it's messed up when we're so brainwashed that we think that everything is white. You know, we even tell, oh man, you acting white, man, you talk white, da 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 da. You know, I've heard that a million times. You know, I got a bunch of college degrees, and all of the knowledge is from Africa. Who you think? Geometry, trigonometry, algebra, alchemy, chemistry. Those are all African disciplines, and still to this day, the leading, you know, if they would report things correctly and give credit where credit is due, everybody would see and understand. But no one wants to do that. No one's going to tell the truth. And so anyway, let me go back to to Elijah Muhammad. So Elijah Muhammad, he's as the story goes, he's trying to expand the Nation of Islam. And I have no idea what happened to the Mahdi, which was Farad Muhammad. So we're left with Elijah trying to establish for better a religion for the black man in America, because of all the persecution and discrimination and everything else. And so he had a choice with Islam and Christianity. It was his choice that the Nation of Islam study Islam and the Quran. I mean, it's self-explanatory. But he felt as though the precepts inside of the Quran were more beneficial to the black man than what was in the scriptures. Now, whether or not he knew that those scriptures were in code or not, that's, he had a relationship with Noble Drew Ali. They knew each other. But how in depth did that transference of information, knowledge, and energy, how far did it go? So these are things that we right now in the 21st century, we need to be asking, we need to be thinking about these things. Because there's really no difference. Basically, and all religion is the same. So that's why we teach spirituality, because it's individualized. even, because, okay, say for instance, let's go to the concept, which by the way was made up by the Roman Catholic Church, but let's take heaven. Well, heaven to me ain't heaven to you. Maybe I don't want gold streets. Maybe I like blue streets. And I guess that's what so you got to look at all of this stuff in religion. Religion says, okay, everybody has to do it this way, and it's conditional. It's conditional. Spirituality is not conditional. You could say whatever you want, do whatever you want, right? No conditions on it. The only conditions are, and is what we as Kemetic priests, is what we teach. Know thyself, and to thine own self be true. And so I can set you on a path. I can set you on a path where you can learn who you are and learn your purpose and all that kind of stuff. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just setting you on the path. It's like your friend comes to your house and watches you walk down the street. Says, "No, oh man, I'm trying to go to the store." Well, if you go up here, the store is 4 blocks up, but you got to get there on your own. And so the store for us is enlightenment. Being, that 7th chakra is outside of your body, which is where you're going to end up. Why can't I? And that's the thing. I can never get people to understand that. You're still going to end up there. You're going to end up there. It doesn't matter what your religion is, what anything, you eventually are going to lead. That's the only thing. Even when people joke, they say, only thing I got to do is be black and die. The only thing is for certain is death and taxes. Huh? But nobody says it out loud. So everything, because they don't want you. In fact, even Christ, the word Christ is synonymous with enlightenment. It's synonymous with enlightenment. So because when you become, illuminated, I hate to say that because y'all be like, oh, then y'all run off scared because y'all scared of something that your ancestors created in the world. The foundations of the world were created on it, but you afraid of it because somebody else told you that it was evil or demonic or diabolical or whatever. So you don't use all your power. You don't use all your power, and it's a hindrance. It's holding you back. Certain things that you could be doing, if you just used your power in your enlightenment, everything would become easy. Everything would become easy. But we would rather go to the church on the corner, listen to some man that ain't enlightened themselves. Because I'm not enlightened. I may be woke or whatever you all call it or whatever, Eric, because that's, in the world, we love to put labels on stuff. So unless we can label it, we get kind of we get nervous on stuff that we can't label. But the real test and is good versus evil. The real test for everybody is the whole good versus evil thing. And it's so happened that once the Caucasian understood the science behind manifestation, how to be able to manifest things, they took the knowledge of manifestation and took it to another level. And we took our knowledge of manifestation and we said that if we manifest stuff, then somehow it's bad. And that's what they taught us. That's what they taught us during slavery. So the whole time we're up in there and anything that we did, and then the next thing was what? Witches. Everybody's a witch, witchcraft, everything. You might as well say everything is witchcraft. Because everybody is spending all day, every day, usually. If you got a job, what are you trying to do? If you own a business, what are you trying to do? You are trying to get people to buy your products or to do whatever it is that you want to. You're trying to influence or make people get something or do something based upon your manifestation. So if you want, a car, right? And so everything that you do, you're going to do everything, to manifest that car. But do you realize that there are easier ways to manifest the car? What do you think? That's all the prosperity preachers, that's all they were teaching, really. They were teaching the art of manifestation. Seed time and harvest, that's a natural law. It's not no hocus pocus or nothing like that. Neither is manifestation through spirituality. It ain't no hocus pocus to it. It's just something that we do or that we can do. You can communicate with the universe. I was just talking about the Akashic records, right? What do you think that is? That's the universe keeping knowledge of everything that we've done and said throughout our entire existence here on Earth. And there have been people, including white people, that have tapped into it. Why do you think there are all of these secret white Masonic orders? Why do you think they wouldn't let us in the Masonic and they wanted us to be in Prince Hall? Why do you think that? Because they didn't want us to know the power. They wanted us to be away from the power. So we put them over there. They think they're doing something, but in all reality, they're doing nothing. And you got to remember, the Coptic priest Imhotep was the one who discovered the Masonic order. So everything that they do, all they doing is copying us. But as soon as you want to be around them white folks and this, that, and the other thing. No, actually those white folks wanted to be around us. Stop being hoodwinked and fooled by all this stuff. Because it was your ancestors that found all this stuff and discovered it. And then developed it, and then it was stolen from us. Our own creation. So our own creation stole from us. So I'm thinking like why do people treat each other so bad? See, all of this like the Quran and the Bible are like big Willie Lynch letters. That's why I tell you, I was like, you don't know what you're reading. You reading a book of spells, incantations, curses, all of this stuff. That's what you're reading. That's what you're repeating out loud. Why do y'all think they celebrate certain things every single year religiously? That's religion. Every single holiday. Where'd they get them from? And what power is being put into them? What power is behind certain things, right? And why acknowledge the negative aspects? Because of balance. Because the real knowledge is in knowing that there is going to be balance, but I need to be protected from the downside of balance. Yes, I love good, but I need to be protected from evil. I love good, but I need to be protected from evil. But now we're so mixed up that evil can hide anywhere. It can hide in any person, under any skin, any location, all of that. Why? Because every time you go in those books and you read out loud and you talk about, because everybody's, oh yeah, the one I like to use, the Deuteronomy 28 blessings and curses, right? So explain to me why all the blessings go to white people and all the curses go to black people. Even look, the Hebrew Israelites, I don't mean, and I'm not putting them down, I don't mean to put them down, but their claim to fame is that, is all the persecution that race of people suffered in the Bible. So that's their claim to fame. So you mean to tell me you want to be known for being persecuted because you believe that when you die, then all of this will be made equal, or all of it will be put into balance? I'm just asking, So the whole time, and so why are some people like rich and other people are poor? Just simple questions like that. Simple. I mean, nothing major, nothing like that. No rocket science. Nothing you got to go and research for 20 years or something like that. The scriptures do say, and I will say that I somewhat know how to decipher the Moorish side, but the scriptures say, the life force is in the blood. So if all the blood is mixed up, if a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl has sub-Saharan African in her blood, and I got Welsh in my blood, you know, that's where my people came from on my white side of the family. So what am I? So everything comes down to the spirit. Because the body, the stuff that's running through the body, that's why they always talk about the spirit versus the flesh. Because they knew their flesh was evil. Why? Because we made it. Their flesh is evil because we made it. And you don't think that our Creator would think that was a little bit disrespectful? See, just ask yourself, like ask yourself these questions. And it's not right, I'm not being racist or nothing like that. I'm not being prejudiced or nothing like that, but it's true. All of the evil traits that came into the world came into the world after the Caucasian. Because if you look at the papyrus and the hieroglyphs and a lot of stuff, and you look at a lot of stuff, up until the Caucasian came into the world, everything was pretty peaceful. We didn't have crime. We didn't have jails. You don't see, go through all that stuff in Egypt. Where you see the jails? There are no jails. But we got a prison on every corner. See, because they looked at balance. If somebody was out of balance, then it was up to the village to what? To get them back in balance. Jail ain't gonna put you in balance. It's gonna make you hateful. So think about the things that I've said in this. A lot of it I just ran it on, but it's all founded in truth. So that's why it's ironic that white people would hate their Creator and black people would hate their creation. I'll say it again. That white people would hate their Creator and black people would hate their creation. So that's what it really boils down to. So at this point in human history, what's the solution? Because nobody can say they're 100%. There's very few people walking on the face of the earth who can say that they're 100% pure. Probably nobody. So racially, nobody's 100% anything. But everybody 100% has spirits and souls. %. Everybody has a spirit. You are a spirit, matter of fact. And everybody has a soul. So the best thing to do is to enhance the spirit by what? Know thyself, and to thine own self be true. Meditate. Start to go inside of yourself instead of blaming external factors. That's the only thing that can work. Anyway, thank you if you stayed with me, and I appreciate you. Have a good night. God bless you.